Oncology rescheduling requests from a PowerPlan. From this view, I am logged in as an oncology nurse. After reviewing my patient's results, I realize that their neutrophils are not within parameters to proceed with treatment for today. Through contacting the provider over the phone, they are unable to enter the orders. They have given me a telephone order to reschedule the patient from a week from today. I would go to the Oncology tab from the table of contents and access my oncology treatment calendar. Under the oncology treatment calendar, I can see the various cycles that are for this patient. The patient is currently here for cycle number 2. In order to reschedule them, I would make sure that I am clicking on the appropriate hyperlinked blue text in relation to the chemotherapy visit. So since the patient is unable to receive treatment today, I would click on the hyperlinked blue text. This brings up a calendar for me. Now simply to request a new date, the oncologist has told me a week from today, I would select the date and then I would consider if the oncologist wants to schedule just this current cycle from a week from today, or does the oncologist were the instructions given to adjust all future appointments. In this instance, the oncologist has requested that all future appointments be adjusted. I would select the corresponding radio dial and click Sign. Since I am not the provider, I am asked to give the name of the oncologist who has given me these directions. The system will now move all those dates according to the direction given from the radio dial. As a nurse, doing this action is not actually scheduling and selecting the date. However, it is sending a request to the scheduler's queue. Because that order was done by a nurse, a message would also land in the message center for the provider to accept and sign at a later time. Now, another alternative would be if the plan was activated. So let's say the nurse had done their checks and potentially missed something that was a parameter not in range. So they had gone ahead and activated the day of treatment. Upon further review, the nurse has noticed that they have done an assessment on the patient and they cannot go ahead with chemo today. They have spoken to the provider and the provider would like to rebook the patient for 1 week's time. In this instance, the provider would need to go into their power chart, and what they would have to do is access the chemotherapy phase that was initiated. Because this order is already initiated, but we are not going ahead with treatment today, the provider would have to select to discontinue the day of treatment. This will show the orders that are being discontinued. They would sign to discontinue this treatment. The provider would then come to the actions and copy the day of treatment. In order to move the scheduling, they would now select the date in which they want the patient to be rebooked. So let's say it's a week from today. Once again, this is just sending a request and not actually rescheduling the appointment. At this point, they would sign these orders, which would be sent to the scheduler. Because in the second example, the provider is re-signing chemotherapy orders, this must be done by the oncologist. This concludes the rescheduling request from a PowerPlan in oncology workflow.